Coach Keith Gepner here. This is what Roy Jones Jr. told me, because when I got a chance to meet him and talk with him, share an adjacent dressing room, I wanted to get that knowledge and also so that I'd be able to tell my guys what Roy Jones Jr. said from himself about himself. Like a little while ago, a couple weeks ago, I was out in Dallas, Texas for the big Jake Paul, Nate Diaz fight on the zone. I had a guy fight his first pro fight on the undercard.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing CJ, the Autobot Hamilton.
More often. Again, more damaging as well.
And this is good. I like what Hamilton's doing here. Feet. You can see already in and out, very nimble and sharp on his feet, and that will hold him in good stead moving forward if he's to continue. But he's aggressive, and you can see him already on the front foot. Takes a nice right uppercut though from Hamilton.
The stadium was packed out even then. Like Ariel Helwani talked about.
The place was on fire. The place was absolutely on fire. Shout out to the crowd. I was at Spence Crawford, and no joke, like one fight, like going into the Isaac Cruz fight, there's no one there. Here for the early prelims, the place was probably 60% full. By the time the main card started, it was probably 80% full. By the time we were at like H2O Silv's fight, it was 100% full.
Big ups to Jake Paul. No matter what you think about the guy, he knows how to pack out a stadium. And I think he almost does it kind of with the Mayweather style idea, because it was packed out with people that were like F Jake Paul and everything else. So just great show. And of course, you know, like we know, Jake has signed a lot of great up and coming boxers like Javon Walton and like H2O and all these guys. And
Green fighting off that back foot, waiting to unleash that right hand. She did it there.
He's going to still learn some things.
He caught him with the left. One last time. Incredible. Listen to this price. Back and forth, Serrano coming forward.
boom, boom, boom. Building a great team, great for boxing. I was, like I said, in adjacent in the dressing room right next to Roy Jones Jr. and his guy Newman, up and coming pro, good fighter. Keep on the lookout for him.
A real big statement here in his career. And an uppercut, that stagger, and down goes Buzz.
And it was great to be around them and be around them after the fight and be a party to the conversation, hear what they're talking about and how they're analyzing a winning performance. That's one thing too, is that it's not just all celebration, oh man, this, that. They're talking strategy, they're talking technique. Like Roy Jones Jr. says, boxing IQ. Anyway, so I got Roy right there, wanted to snap a pic, got that pic. And then, while I got this great fighter here and great coach, let me ask him a question. And I told him, hey, so Roy, I got a lot of guys to look up to you. Got a lot of guys that watch you. A lot of guys, obviously, like we know, so many guys look up to, watch Roy Jones Jr. I said, I tell my guys, Roy, watch Roy, don't watch him as a pro. Watch him as an amateur. Watch him as an Olympian. Watch him build the base, because that is what you need to build. You're a novice fighter, you're an open division fighter, that's what you need to be watching. You're getting ready for your first fight, that's what you need to be watching.
And these are both very, very aggressive fighters, so we would expect...
This is for everything. 139-pound class. Tell you what, Jones is landing a lot of body shots and they're going up there. And there he landed a good...
Don't watch Roy when he's doing all this stuff like he did against James Toney.
Roy Jones came off the ropes when he got pinned there with some beautiful shots back at Toney.
Oh! Big left hook, and down goes Toney!
And like when he knocks the guy out with his hands behind his back.
I love the opponent or whatever.
Shane Mosley learned that on Saturday night. Again.
Don't watch that Roy, the showman. Watch the base being built. Because if you want to be able to do the same things, you have to build the same base. So therefore, watch what he's doing. And he was like, Keith, you're exactly right. Exactly. That's where it was all built. And so from his mouth to my mouth to your ears, that's what you need to watch. All right, it's not just me saying this, it's great champions saying this about themselves. Also, if you watch Floyd Mayweather, watch him build the base. I bet he would say the same thing. Watch him build the base when he was an amateur and even a beginner pro. Watch that base be built. He didn't Philly shell the whole time. He didn't sit back the whole time and lose the first 4 rounds. If he's an amateur fighter, he loses 4 rounds, depending what era it is, it's 3 or 4 rounds. He loses that, the whole fight's lost, right? But if you're fighting 12, you can lose 4. Also, if you're the champion already, you can fight a little bit differently. Because if it's a close fight, it should lean on you a little bit. Now, also as well, like someone like Floyd Mayweather.
Number 1. Yeah, way out. The referee should stay close. These are not even fights.
Down goes Chris. His styles, he got older. There's Pretty Boy Floyd and there's Money Floyd, right? And so he's a smart guy. He knows he's a little bit older. He doesn't try to be as reckless as he was when he was younger and whatnot. A little more conservative style. So therefore he's fighting like that. So if you try to fight that conservative style as an amateur, building up yourself, trying to climb up to the mountaintop that he got to, you're not gonna get there. You have to have those other tools. So watch any of these champions, watch them as they're building the base and build your base the same way. And you might, with extremely hard work, inhuman hard work, and maybe just a little sprinkling of luck, you might get there as well. All right, but you're not gonna get there by trying to mimic them at the mountaintop. I'll give you an example. 2 fighters that I had start out around the same time. One of them, his name is Tay. One of them, his name is Gavin, all right? Like I said, both start off at the same level, both start off with me, right? So same coach, same situation, same exact location, everything. One of them, Tay, I had to argue with him when he was open to try to maybe drop his lead hand sometime, to maybe try some different looks to set different things up, because I felt like he was at that level. Whereas this other kid, Gavin, good kid, but before his first amateur fight, he's dropping his lead hand. Tell him to keep it up, he keeps on dropping it. No matter how much myself and the other coaches told him to keep it up, he kept on dropping it. Whenever he got in trouble, it would drop. Whenever he's doing well, it would drop. Whether or not he's getting hit by right hands over the top. So what do you think happened? When he went and had his fights, yeah, he won some fights, but he also lost some fights he shouldn't have lost because that hand's dropping. And the first guy, Tay, he went on. He's 8-0 as a pro. He's doing well. Gavin is not. Base wasn't built. You have to build the base, guys. If you don't build that base, you're gonna pay for it sooner or later. You might be one of these guys or gals that's so darn athletic, that's so darn fast with your reflexes and your footwork, that you might be able to get away with a lot right now. But eventually, it might take you until you get to the championship if you're really lucky, like Deontay Wilder. But most people are gonna get exposed a little bit sooner for what they might be lacking, for what they might be neglecting in training. So don't be the same. Learn from their mistakes. The ones that you've seen have made mistakes like that. Build the base properly. You watch any of these guys that are stylistic, watch them build the base. You build the same base, you'll be just as successful, guys. So keep after your training. Keep working on those foundations and those fundamentals. Always go back to the basics, the bedrock of your boxing technique. And watch out for the next video, guys. See ya.